Brad MacGuffin reviews. Renfield, 2023. Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult, Chris McKay, director. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay, Chris McKay, he's brought us Tomorrow War, the Lego Batman movie, Robot Chicken, Titan Maximum. And yeah, does a good job here. It's I think his direction suits the comedy aspect of this, and he stages some very good fight scenes. Yes, there's some fight scenes in this. Yeah, John Wick thrown in there. We have writer Robert Kirkman, who has a hand in writing this. You've seen his work, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Invincible, Outcast, and we have writer Ryan Ridley, who also has worked on Rick and Morty and Invincible. And yeah, this is a sequel of sorts to the Dracula movie from 1931, starring Bela Lugosi. And yeah, it's a good time. There's a lot of fun to be had here. We have Nick Cage as a vampire, as Dracula. I think we've all waited a long time to see this. He gave us a taste of what he could do in Vampire's Kiss, a 1980s movie. And yeah, he does a great job as Dracula. I think it's a role he was made to play. And what we have here is we have a toxic boss employee relationship. We have Renfield wanting to get out of his job with working for Dracula. He's had enough. He's been doing it since 1931. And yeah, Dracula's not like nice. He's a blood-sucking boss, and we've all had them. A boss that wants to take the life and soul from you, wants you to just, think of nothing else but working for them. And Renfield, being servant to Dracula, has to bring Dracula people to eat and to suck their blood, and he has to figure out ways to do that. And Dracula's in a bad way at the moment. He's been attacked, and he's been hit by sun, and he's in bad shape. He's recuperating, and he needs to be rejuvenated. So there's a bit of a lull for Dracula, and he's trying to gather strength. And Renfield uh, figures this is the time for him to, figure out a way to get the strength, the internal strength, to get away from Dracula and have his own life. So he joins DRAG, DRAAG, Dependent Relationship Anonymous Addiction Group. And yeah, they deal with people there are in toxic relationships, and it's like an AA group, and they're talking about the relationships they're in, and there's a counselor there to sort of help them figure out a way to get away from these relationships that they don't want to be in anymore. And yeah, that's the basic thing about this: getting away from, you know, getting out of that toxic relationship. Um, Now, Renfield sees someone that he likes their strength. He sees Aquafina, who plays Rebecca, and she's a very tough police officer. She doesn't, she doesn't like the rest of the police force. This is set in New Orleans. There's a gang that seem to rule the police and own the police, and she's not taking it. She doesn't want to be part of she doesn't want to be a servant to this horrible gang, and the Lobo gang, I think they're called. So she's tough, and he sees inspiration in her, and he befriends Rebecca in this. So yeah, let's talk about Nicholas Hoult. You've seen him in The Menu, TV show The Great, X-Men movies, Sandcastle, Mad Max Fury Road, Jack the Giant Slayer, The Weatherman, which he also co-starred with Nicolas Cage, About a Boy, Skins TV show, and Warm Bodies. So Nicholas Hoult, great in this. He's had a great There's great filmography there, and yeah, very likable in this, and enjoyed his performance. Nicolas Cage, of course, legend, national treasure. He's been in some great movies over the years. Face Off, The Rock, Leaving Las Vegas, The Trust, Joe, Drive Angry, Kick Ass, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Knowing, The Wicker Man, The Lord of War, The Family Man, Con Air, Red Rock West, Vampire's Kiss, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Raising Arizona, Rumblefish. Tip of the iceberg there. The man has been in so many great movies. So this is, yeah, it's nice to see him in this role. He gave us a taster in Vampire's Kiss, 1980s movie, and this is him going full vampire, full Nicolas Cage, and yeah, very enjoyable performance. Um, so yeah, what Renfield does is if there's people in the drag group that um, complain or have a he goes after he goes after the people that the other people in the group mentioned for being toxic or horrible people, and he brings them to Dracula. And some of the people he brings to Dracula are a gang that have stolen from the New Orleans main uh, drug gang, criminal gang called the Lobos, and they've taken drugs from the Lobos, and the Lobos come to get their drugs back. And the main Lobo sort of gang member, or the head of the gang, is Tedward Lobo, and he's played by Ben Schwartz, and you've seen him in Parks and Recreation. He does the voice in Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 and Space Force. And yeah, he's wondering what's going on. He sees Renfield attacking his men, and yeah, he wants revenge. Um, he gets taken in by the police. Aquafina captures him, and of course he's let go because all the police are corrupt. But Aquafina isn't, or Rebecca, and she's not. Yeah, she wants to get him for something. She wants to, bring the Lobo gang down. Now we've seen Aquafina in Ocean's 8, Crazy Rich Asians, The Farewell, Shang-Chi, Raya and the Last Dragon, Jumanji, The Next Level, and Bad Neighbors 2. And yeah, she's very good in this. As I said, Renfield finds inspiration in her, how tough she is. He saves her from being assassinated in a restaurant slash bar. He helps her out with his kung fu, his, I don't know, superhero powers. If he eats bugs, he gets some of Dracula's powers, and he can fight, and he has super strength. So yeah, he helps her out and stops her from being assassinated. But and they sort of bond over that. And yeah, Teddy Lobo wants revenge now on Renfield, and he finds where Renfield's keeping Dracula, and he meets up with Dracula, and Dracula has his own plans of world domination, and he wants to use the Lobo gang to take over the world, to use their criminal connections and their yeah, I suppose we also have I'm going to say this wrong, Shora Agdalu, who plays Bella Francesca Lobo. So this is Tedward's mother, and you may have seen her in House of Sand and Fog, 24 TV show, The Expanse, Star Trek Beyond, and Arcane. She does the voice in Arcane, the TV show. So she's the big boss, and Tedward is the son. And yeah, she likes that idea too of meeting Dracula and using Dracula to you know take over the world as well. Both of them want to be partners and take over the world. So yeah, Dracula has big schemes. He's expanding. He wants Renfield with him, taking over the world. But Renfield doesn't want this. and Renfield, yeah, Renfield fights back. He gets his own apartment. He wants to distance himself from Dracula, but of course, he can't let Dracula take over the world, and him and Rebecca have to stop him. So yeah, this is good fun. It's a take with the Renfield having superpowers. There's some great fight scenes in this. The subplot with the Lobos, um, not too sure I like that. Um, Takes away from seeing more of Nicolas Cage as Dracula. So yeah, I'm not sure the story did it for me, but the great mix of actors here, as I said. But so I think the story lets it down a bit and stops me from giving it a. I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's nearly a 4. It's nearly a 4. I think there's lots to enjoy in this, but it just didn't quite make it to a 4 for me, which I'm disappointed about. I was hoping this would be at least a 4-star movie. But look, who knows? If I watch this a few more times, it might grow on me. There's a lot to love here, and yeah, what can I say? Check it out, especially at Halloween if you can. Yeah, and Fred MacGuffin giving you the Guffin Renfield. Fred MacGuffin's reviewed Renfield.